Hello, everyone, and welcome to this exciting live Ask Me Anything session. I am Danish Nasir, your host for today's conversation, where we will delve deep into the world of WordPress and explore how to make a lasting impact within its vibrant and dynamic community. Today, we are delighted to have a special guest with us, Topher. He is a seasoned expert in the world of WordPress, renowned for his profound contribution to the community. With over 25 years of web development experience, Topher is the driving force behind HeroPress, a platform that spotlights success stories within the WordPress community. To all our listeners, whether you are joining us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or any of our social media platform, there is your chance to ask question related to the WordPress community. Feel free to inquire about how you can contribute, become a part of this thriving community, or gain insight into WordPress flagship events as Topher is actively involved in participating and attending these WordPress gathering. You can ask questions in the comment section, and we will do our best to answer all of them. We have already received multiple questions from our AMA landing page, where we placed a form for our audience. Without a further ado, I would like to kick off this session with the first question for Topher. That is Topher, could you please introduce yourself and can you share a bit about your journey and how you initially got involved in the WordPress community and what motivated you to become an active contributor and an advocate of WordPress?
Sure. Yeah. Boy, there's a lot. There's a lot there. Um, I live in Grand Rapids, Michigan, in the U.S. The weather is beautiful today. The sun is shining. I'm looking at a river right now, right outside my apartment. Um, I the first time I ever saw WordPress, I was not impressed, which is sad. I was a PHP MySQL developer, and I looked at a bunch of relational database tables and an admin area and thought, I could build that. And I feel that's to my detriment. I very much wish that I had stuck with it and been a part of that community because I didn't come back for another 8 years. In 2010, I took a contract. I quit my job to go freelance, and one of my first contracts was with WordPress. I was with 2.9, and then the next contract had WordPress 3.0, and that changed everything with custom post types. And I realized I was never again going to have to build a custom login area to manage content because people don't know how to use PHP MyAdmin, and that was glorious. So that's really how I got into WordPress. It just we grew together. We matured at about the same time, and I've been in it ever since. Um, but the thing that motivated me to become an active contributor and advocate was WordCamp. Um, my friend Andrea did a WordCamp talk one time called, the title was, and then I went to WordCamp. And everybody who's ever been there knows immediately what I'm talking about when I say those words because it changes everything. And it was exciting. It was fun. It was interesting. There were people who were hungry to learn, and I was excited to teach, and that's a powerful combination.
So as you said, you are motivated from the WordCamps and you are actively participating in the WordCamp right now also. As you came back from the WordCamp US, can you share a little bit insight like how was the event and how was it going on?
The event was great. Um, the It was a little unique in that the talks were quite separated from the sponsor area. Usually they're much closer, but it gave people time to stretch their legs and move between the two, which was really great. The sponsor area was nice and big and spread out. It wasn't crowded. The lunch area was right next to the sponsor area, so you could take part in both, and it felt very comfortable. Everybody could talk to each other easily. Plenty of quiet, private areas if you're getting overwhelmed. The weather was nice. it was a really great time. Um, I went to the keynote talk about um, building NASA.gov with WordPress, and that was amazing. And then also another one about the power of stories and the value of storytelling in community.
Great. And as we know that you are the founder of Hero Press, and I am just building the question on the base of this Hero Press. So
Hmm.
let us tell about your projects and initiative. Are there any particular WordPress projects or initiative that you are passionate about and believe have a significant impact?
Oh boy, there are, and for different reasons. For example, I love the Photos Project, but mostly because I just like pretty pictures. um, I hope it has a significant impact someday. I doubt it will have as significant an impact as other projects, but I really like it, and I'm passionate about it. You mentioned HeroPress, of course. I'm very passionate about that. I see every day the impact that it makes in the community. Um, in fact, at WordCamp, a stranger walked up to me. He's a little taller than me, but he's built like me, and he was bald. And he said, "You're a great person." I said, "Okay, why is that?" He said, "I don't know, but people keep coming up to me and telling me how great I am until they realize I'm not you. So I don't know who you are or what you're doing, but keep it up because people seem to like it."
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty funny that some other guy kept uh, getting his hand shaken because of HeroPress. Um, I've always been really passionate about polyglots, even though I only speak English, for a variety of reasons. One is that the WordPress community has built an extraordinarily powerful tool for translating everything: core, plugins, themes. You don't have to know anything at all about technology to be able to completely translate a plugin or theme or WordPress. And that's super powerful. And it makes it really accessible for people who want to contribute but don't have any technical skills per se, or don't want to get tied down in a time consuming thing like coordinating events or a marketing campaign or something. You can spend 45 seconds and translate one word and make a difference and walk away. And then that's extremely powerful. And I'm really happy with that.
And we need to like make it accessible for everyone in the world, like for any language. So yeah, that is a like a great thing to
Yeah.
contribute for the world. So as we know that we got some questions from our audience,
Hmm.
that from the forms, and the one question is from Olivia, as she is asking, in your experience, what are some of the most effective ways individuals can make a positive impact within the WordPress community?
Boy, there are many, many ways. Most effective depends on how you measure effectiveness, honestly. Um, you can join a team like Polyglots or Support, or um, there are a variety that you can join that don't have a lot of personal contact, but can still have a lot of significant impact. So, for example, you can answer somebody's support question, and that may save the day and make it so they keep their job. And that's a big
Yeah.
deal. But it took you a minute and a half and you're gone, and don't know that person, and it's just gone. Um, a completely different way to measure effectiveness is through relationships. And this is my favorite way. And it's all about creating good relationships with people, not because you want to get something from them, but simply to know them, to take part in their life, not change their life, although that might happen, simply to take part, to be there, to watch. And so often when you join a team, you get to know your teammates, and that's great. Or you might just go to WordCamp and meet 5 people and shake their hand and be friends forever, and see them at every WordCamp, and then 5 more at the next camp, and 5 more at the next, and soon you have 200 people all around the world. And relationships matter when you have a friend who checks in on you to see how you're doing, and you're not doing great. It can really matter. And the more friends you have, the more likely that is to happen. Um, and it's cool to know people all over the world. It's fun. My children know people all over the world because of WordPress, and I've always thought that was really good because it helped them see the world more fully, as opposed to just through the lens of their own country or language or culture.
So like we can say that like community is about to like make connections with the people, so you can know them better.
Yes, very much so.
Cool. So we have next question that is around again WordPress community. So how has the WordPress community evolved over the years, and what trends do you see shaping in the future? The question is from Sophia.
Excuse me. Boy, how has it changed over the years? Well, WordPress lasted for about 8 years without any WordCamps at all. They just didn't exist. And it's hard to imagine WordPress without WordCamps or meetups. And yet they have. And they grew greatly during the 20 teens. The difference between 2011 and 2019 was huge. But then COVID happened and everything stopped. And we're very slowly starting to get the wheels turning on
Yeah,
WordCamps again. I think before COVID, there were something like 200 WordCamps in the US alone. And this year, I think we're at 8, which is
a big
dramatic.
decline. Yeah.
Yeah, a big difference.
Yeah.
So, how has it evolved over the years? I think something that COVID gave us as a gift, there aren't very many gifts, but there was this, was virtual meetups and WordCamps and Hangouts and all of that. There are a lot of people in the world that can't get to a WordCamp. It's too far, it's too expensive, it doesn't benefit enough their job, whatever. There's a reason. And when the world went 100% virtual, suddenly they could go to all of them. And there were hundreds of meetups happening every month all around the world that people could just show up to. I did a talk. I did a talk from Michigan to WordCamp London, where there was someone from Mexico and someone from Eastern Europe, and that that doesn't easily happen with
Mm,
WordCamps. I mean, there's always people from all the countries, but
mm.
it's there are more people that have access now than used to. And before COVID, we would have WordCamps. We would have a few WordCamps that would say, "We're going to do this live," and then during COVID, all of them did it live and realized we can just do this. And so now I think an artifact of that is that a lot more WordCamps are doing live streaming just because they can. I mean, they learned how during COVID, and so that's happening. Um, but the question is how trends for the future. I think we're going to see more virtual stuff, more hybrid. I don't think we'll go 100% virtual, although maybe
Yeah.
a few. Um, but I think we're going to see a lot more hybrid, a lot more technology involved. I remember when WordCamps were starting. At the end of every WordCamp, everyone got a piece of paper and a pencil to fill out a poll to say what you thought of WordCamp. It's been a long time since we were filling out forms with a pencil.
So we need to involve like technology, more technology. Uh,
Yeah.
uh, yeah. Uh, Great. We have another question from Alina, and she's asking like, what advice would you give to newcomers who want to start contributing to WordPress, but may feel overwhelmed by the size of the community?
Take the community in small, small pieces. Um, at its core, the community is just a group of people, and you can talk to just one of them, and then the community is just one person. And there are a lot of people who would be happy to be the community for you, and just one person. Um, the easiest way to get involved is to go to the page that lists all the teams, pick one that kind of interests you, pick four that interest you, and they each have a Slack channel. And join the Slack channel and don't say anything, just watch. And you'll get a feel for who's there, what they're talking about, um, what they're like. You'll get a feel for how intense the community is. Some channels move very fast and they're very intense, and people are very concise with their speaking, and there's no chit chat. We're getting this done and we're moving it out the door. And maybe you need a different one where people are slow and they're talking about whatever, and gives you the opportunity to join a conversation and say, "Hi, I'm from wherever, and I'm kind of curious. What do you folks do here?" And people will be more than happy to tell you. They'll talk your ear off. um, so you break the giant community down into teams, and then you join their Slack, and then you watch for specific groups of people within Slack. And there's probably going to be 5 or 6 people who are actually really active, and you're going to recognize that maybe one of them seems like the kind of person maybe you'd like to talk to. And pretty soon you're just talking to 1 or 2 people. And the community is such that even if you're in the wrong place, even if you're in a team that you decide you don't want, they're going to help you get to another team, because that's what we do. Remember that it's not as intimidating as it might seem, and that people really want you there and are very happy to help you.
The first thing we need to like start analyzing the things, then join the things, and like ask questions like how you can contribute so you can
Yeah.
be the member of the community. Don't uh, The overemphasize is not a big deal. You just need to start from the point. a
Yes.
good a
Yep.
good good idea from Topher. Like, he is expert of the community, so he gave us the a better solution. The next question is, are there any challenges or obstacles you have encountered while working in the WordPress community, and how did you overcome them?
um, Obstacles in the community. I would say the same as everybody else. When I was getting started, I didn't know how, and I didn't know who to talk to, and I didn't know what to do, and I was scared to death. And I was at WordCamp Austin, and a woman who is now my good friend, Siobhan, was there, and she was head of the docs team. She was sitting at a table by herself working, and I was just watching her, nervous and nervous, wait, trying to get up the courage to go talk to her. And I went over and I said, "Hi, I'm Topher. I'm kind of interested in working on the docs project." And she asked me a few questions, and she said, "We really need help with the plugin handbook. It's only half done. People started writing the plugin handbook and it just stopped halfway through, and there is no second half." And I said, "Oh, I would love to write that." She said, "Okay, hang on." Clickety clickety click. And she said, "There you go. You have full access now. You can write anything you want." And it blew my mind that it was that easy. I just walked up to her. I said, "Hi." I told her what I wanted to do. We had a short discussion, and she gave me full access to the plugins handbook on WordPress.org. Um, and I learned that that wasn't that special. She would have given access to anyone who said, "I want to write on this thing." And anyone can have access. Anyone with a .org account, with a very short interview. I mean, like a minute, to make sure you're not going to cause a problem. um, can get access and contribute to any of the docs. Uh, so the biggest impact, or I'm sorry, the biggest challenge was myself, my fear, my nervousness. Um, Once I got over that, there were no more obstacles.
Got your point. And the second question is from myself, and I want to really ask this question to you: that how do you balance your contribution to the WordPress community with your other professional commitments and personal life?
It can be difficult. I Because I have to, because that's the way life works. Often, I have to give precedence to my job or my family, and I don't contribute. That's one of the nice things about being a WordPress contributor is you can just stop when you need to. And so, um, like right now, I don't have a job, and so I've been contributing a little more. But at the same time, finding a job is a full time job. So, I'm busy. Um, but then um, my previous job provided time for us to work on the community. It was they did it 5 for the future. It was the last Friday of the month. We got a whole day to work on it. During the rest of the month, we weren't supposed to be working on it during the day at work, so I just didn't. And so that was like a balance dictated to me. Um, it really is just looking at life. Um, it can be very important to communicate availability to your team, especially if they rely on teamwork. Like, for example, polyglots, you don't need it so much. You can just walk into polyglots, translate some stuff, and walk away. And maybe nobody even knew you were there. And that works fine. But if you're on the marketing team or the core team or the art team or something like that, they work as a team. And you need to say, listen, I need to step away for a week, a month, whatever, because of something, so that they don't wait for you. They don't get hung up. Um, so how to balance a lot of communication, um, a lot of personal priority setting. What's most important to you? For me, it's work and family, and then I contribute where I can. Fortunately, my family is very encouraging, and much of my work has been encouraging. So I get more time maybe than the average person. But at the end of the day, it's really about priorities and um, just figuring out what you want to do.
We need to like make time. We need to make the balance between our professional work and in the contribution.
Hmm.
Let's just talk about the WordCamps as you are actively participating in the WordCamps. The next question is, what advice would you give to WordPress enthusiasts who want to engage with their local WordPress meetups, groups, or WordCamps? Like if I cannot join like the flagship event like WordCamp US, Europe, and
Sure,
Asia, so how can I like engage with the meetups, WordPress meetup within my country, within my city?
sure. Most meetups are hosted on meetup.com. The WordPress Foundation has an organization with meetup.com, or not, WordPress Foundation has an agreement with meetup.com to pay the bills for meetups because meetups.com is not free. It would be free for you to sign up as a person. So go to meetup.com and search for your city and the word WordPress. And then this is very important. There's a switch on meetup.com to search by event or by location. And so there have been months in my city where we didn't have an event. And if you typed in my city and WordPress meetup, it would not return anything. You would not find us. But if you just search by location, it says, oh, yes, there's one right there. They just don't meet that often. And so make sure when you search meetup.com, you search by location and put in your city and WordPress meetup. And if there is one, go. If there is not, on the WordPress.org site, there is a mechanism for starting one, and you can apply to be a meetup organizer. And it's a much bigger process now. When I did it 12 years ago, we didn't really talk to anybody. We just said, "Hey, we're having a meetup," and people came. These days, to be a meetup organizer, you get interviewed by somebody from .org. They talk to you about the code of conduct. They talk to you about all the normal meetup stuff that maybe you don't know because you've never led a meetup before. Um, and then you can lead a meetup, and then once you've had a meetup for a year, you can apply for a word camp. And once again, you'll have a meeting with somebody.org, and they want to find out if your community can support one. If it's just you and you don't have any helpers, they're going to say no, because word camps need a team. They want to find out if you have local sponsorship, local attendees. Again, even if you have a team, but it's just 5 of you and you're going to have 5 people at WordCamp, they're going to say no. So starting at the beginning, search meetup.com geographically for your city and a meetup or WordPress meetup. And if there is one, just go. If there isn't, maybe you want to start one. Maybe you want to go to one in a city near you. Some people live in larger areas, larger city areas where there might be one that's on the other side of your city. There are 5 or 6 in New York City, for example. And then once you've had a meetup for a year, you can apply to have a WordCamp. And WordCamps are exciting and fun and hard and difficult and painful and great. So
Everything, yeah.
think long and hard before you start a WordCamp. They're
I
very
also part
rewarding, but you pay for it.
Yeah, I also participate in WordPress Karachi meetup, and
Yeah,
like they give me a chance to like give a speech, a little speech on the topic, like what type of website like you can create with the WordPress. Like WordPress is huge, and you can make like multiple type of websites and projects on WordPress. So I research on that topic, and then I give a presentation on it, and
hmm
we have like around 50 to 60 people, a local meetup in the local meetup, and
wow,
we have like around 7 to 8 guest speakers who share their stories, how we can contribute in the community, and how we can work with the WordPress, and how we can engage other people as well. So you are right, like we need to search for the meetup first, and then start going in the events, so like uh, we can moving forward toward the flagship event as well.
sure, yeah.
Great. The
Um,
next question, yeah, please.
I wanted to say that speaking at a local meetup can be incredibly empowering in your career, in your life, as a person being a public speaker. Uh, don't hesitate to be a speaker, and you might have even better options at a smaller meetup. My meetup has about 10 people every month, and so uh, just to keep it from not being the same person every month, we all have to speak. So if you can find a smaller meetup, your chances go up of being chosen to speak. And I really recommend it. I know a number of people that have said, I couldn't have imagined standing in front of people and saying something before work camps and meetups. And now I'm comfortable standing up in front of a group and saying things. Doesn't even have to be WordPress. It's just the courage to stand in front of people and say something.
Yeah. So, Topher, the next question is like about WordCamp Europe. In particular, WordCamp Europe has become one of the largest WordPress event globally. So, what do you believe are the key factors behind its success and growth?
Geography and politics. Those are my
Okay.
answers. Um, One of its big advantages is it's a fairly large collection of relatively small countries. North America has 3 countries. Europe has, I don't know, 2 dozen? Many.
Yeah.
Um, and Europe, regardless of the Eurozone, Europe tends to be much more tolerant of international travel than the US. Or, well, we only had one of Asia. Um, then Bangkok is very tolerant as well. So I think WordCamp Asia might give Europe a run for its money as far as size and accessibility. But I have many friends like in Egypt, for example, that were able to get to WordCamp Europe much more easily than US. Um, you're in Pakistan, and I'm sure it's easier to get to a wide variety of places in Europe than to the US. Um, and so I think the geography part of it is that there are so many small countries close together. Um, and then the politics part of it is that it's just easier to get in there than a lot of other places.
Yeah, I agree. Like from Pakistan, like the Europe is a easy target as compared to US. So I agree
Yeah.
with you. So our next question is, can you share a memorable moment or insights from your involvement in WordCamp events that highlight their significance within the WordPress ecosystem?
Oh boy, 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 boy. I have so many memories. Um, Involvement in WordCamp events. How significant are they? Yeah. So HeroPress has introduced me to people all over the world. Um, I, I think there are 53 countries represented now. And I can say that I'm going to say every one of those people is a friend now. But I have not met most of them, and I don't really expect to meet most of them in my life. The chances that I'm going to go to 53 countries before I die is pretty slim. But WordCamp Asia made a platform for all of us to come together, and I met people that I never ever expected to meet. Um, friends that I've had for years that I thought, oh, there's no way I'm going to be able to get to their country. Work's not paying me. I can't afford to vacation there. What are the chances I'm going to get there? And their chances are really slim. But WordCamp Asia, I think all of the big ones, the flagship ones, draw such a globally diverse group that they really give us the opportunity to meet in person people that we have known for years, but never got the chance to hug. You know, so that's an insight as opposed to a memorable moment. Memorable moments were all the ones where somebody I love walked up to me, gave me a hug, and said, "I never thought I would see you in person," and here
Yeah,
we are.
the precious moment. Yeah. So as we are like concluding this session, and I have a last question to you. Uh,
Mhm.
as someone who has made a significant impact, what would be your message to inspire others to get involved and give back to the WordPress community?
Hmm. You will get back more than you give, but if you give for the purpose of getting back, you may very well get nothing. So if you join the community to make your business stronger or better, or if you join the community to get rich, to for personal gain, it's probably not going to work very well. But if you join the community intent on helping others, helping other people grow and learn, become more courageous, become speakers, you will get back more than you can ever imagine. Um, I will always say that the person who's benefited more the most from Hero Press in the entire world is me. I've heard
Mm.
every story. I've shaken all the hands. I've seen all the tears. Um, yeah. Why would you? Why should you do it? Because it will change your life, and it will make your life happier.
Agree with your point. And one question that I forget to like ask, and that will be our last question. It is about like inclusivity and diversity. So, are there any particular challenges or opportunities you have observed in fostering inclusivity and diversity within the WordPress community?
I was thinking about this one, and I'm going to say not any that are unique to WordPress. Um, we have all of the same old enemies that humanity has of racism and bigotry and misogyny. Um, because we're people, and you can't get a community this large without people behaving badly. Um, but I have not seen anything specific to this community that others don't that makes it difficult. And in quite the opposite, actually, WordPress as a community is fairly well known in the tech world as doing it better. We don't have it all together. We still have incidents and accidents and things that happen. Not accidents. We have incidents. Um, but we know that and we're working at it, and we tend to do it better than other communities. And that gives me hope for the future.
Uh, Great to know your answers on most of the questions are asked by our viewer on Cloudways website. So we are done with the session. I would like you like to offer to like uh, give us a closing remarks. Then I will thanks all of you. Then we will conclude this session. Any closing remarks from your end?
Sure. Somebody in the comments asked how old I am. I'm
Yeah, I
52.
saw that come in, and then I realized
I'm
you
52.
can answer. Yeah.
Yep. And I see my friends there with popcorn. So thank you very much for the popcorn. Closing remarks. Um, Community is what you make it. And if you want it to be there, it will be there. And if you don't, it won't. Um, I'm an extrovert strongly. I want to be out there with the people all the time, forever. My wife is an introvert, and she struggled. I would go to these events, and she would not want to be there, and not any more than she want to be in the hotel room alone while I was out doing things. But she found that she could look around the room and see someone standing alone, not talking to anyone, and walk up and stick out her hand and say, "Hi, what do you do with WordPress?" And it's the perfect opening line for a WordPress meetup. You're probably not going to be there if you don't do anything with WordPress. So there's always something to talk about there. And that's how she's made a ton of friends in WordPress. Just look for the person standing alone, stick your hand out and say, "Hi, what do you do with WordPress?" Um, and that's a that's the beginning. That is the beginning of community right there. Two people saying hi, getting to know each other, and it spreads. And that's how community happens.
Great. Thank you so much, Topher, for this wonderful session. And thank you all for joining us today in this insightful AMA session with Topher. Your question and engagement have truly made this session exceptional. A special thanks to Toffer for sharing his wealth of knowledge and experience within the WordPress community. Your insights have been invaluable. To our wonderful audience, we appreciate your active participation and thoughtful questions. Those who fill out the form and ask questions to Toffer. Remember, the WordPress community thrive on collaboration, and your contribution are what make it so vibrant and dynamic. Keep exploring, learning, and sharing. If you have more questions in the future or would like to see more sessions like this and like with again with Toffer, feel free to reach out. Until next time, stay inspired and keep making an impact in the WordPress world. Uh, Thank you so much, Toffer, and thanks to everyone. Have a fantastic day.